your host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, I co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that movement, we've reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And you are watching The Morning Vibe on the last day of October, October 31st, Halloween for some people. And Mr. Ryan Knight's in the house. What's up? Have to unmute yourself, my brother.
Yes, we have something scary for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's
here
called
we
the
go.
Toronto Blue Jays. Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's go. Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's go. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Tonight is a night of history. If it's not tonight, I apologize, but the hypeness has to crescendo tonight. In the six. I said it at the beginning of this series. They have a chance to do it, and people wrote off the Blue Jays, and I can't believe we took 2 out of 3 in LA, in their hometown. So if Gosman can be our ace, this man is supposed to be our ace pitcher. Tonight is the night. We're going up against Yamamoto. He is their ace. He demolished us last time. So if we figure out how to just get a few runs off this guy, Gosman has to be our guy tonight. 1 shutout, 1-ish runs. If he can give us that kind of start, your Savage was just vicious last game. So, hey, it's tough to do that to the Dodgers. Like, this isn't normal. So people thinking like, yo, the Dodgers can't hit. That is not true. The Dodgers can light up at any time. And if we let them come into our hometown and take 2, that will be so deflating. We have to put it away tonight. We have our ace on the mound. Let's go. It is time.
You are watching Night Sports on The Morning Vibe. So Ryan,
I saw you wearing your sweater. I thought it had a Blue Jays on the front.
So have you worn that consistently over the last week?
I sleep in it, bathe in it.
Oh my gosh.
I went to the spa in it and got a massage in it. It's go time. We can't falter. Whatever people were doing with your superstitions, it's time to turn up your superstitions to the max. Left sock on first, right sock on second. Left shoe on first, left shoe on right shoe on second. Whatever you were wearing when we won, check the records. If you're wearing one jersey and we lost, you have to switch to the other jersey where you won. It's whatever it takes. It's all hands on deck. So yeah, it is an exciting time in Toronto. Even for non-baseball fans, people are stopping me on the street. High fives, go Blue Jays. I don't even watch baseball, but I saw your sweater and I love it. Let's go. It is Canada wide going for the Toronto Blue Jays. Could you believe I'm watching the game and you can hear in LA the Blue Jays fans chanting, "Let's go Blue," or it was like, da, 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 "Let's go." I was like, how are the Blue Jays out fanning the LA Dodgers? And so then the Dodgers had to, their fans had to get, because there's obviously more of them, but you could hear, because the Dodgers fans were so quiet. They were shell-shocked what's going on. They can't believe they're down 3-2. And a lot of commentators can't believe it either, because I would say 95% picked the Dodgers, especially the betting lines. Vegas and everybody thought Dodgers for sure. So we have a chance to really upset and shell shock some people.
So Ray Millen says, I always put my left sock and left shoe on first. Well, good morning, Jim.
I knew I wasn't the only one.
Well, I didn't think the series would last this long. I'm still skeptical because the Dodgers have their ace pitching today, and he shut down the Blue Jays
big time.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, by the time we're on the Morning Vibe on Monday, it'll be over.
we will have a definitive decision on who to.
Have a definite decision on that. So I'm sure you're watching the game tonight.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going by my parents because trick or treating is happening tonight. So the kids will get to go out. And
Yes.
by 8, when it gets dark, and then come in, so my son and my dad will be able to all watch it together and see if the Blue Jays can close it out.
Okay. All right. Okay. I have a feeling it's going to go 7. I don't know who's going to win, but I have a feeling it's going to go 7. Uh,
So you've slowly inched over to at least the balance line because you were saying the Dodgers. So you're
I,
saying
I,
even if it
I,
goes
I,
7, you
I,
still
I,
think,
I still think the Dodgers.
yeah? Well,
Because
hey,
the concern for the Blue Jays, if the best thing for them is to win it tonight, because going to a game
absolutely.
7, very few of the players now. Hey, the players have been, especially the lower third of the order, have been amazing.
Yes.
But there's pressure and there's experience can be there's two ways you can look at it. Experience can be your friend or your foe. So if you have experience, you're used to these situations. But if you don't have experience, you can get nervous, or you just, hey, we've got nothing to lose. And I think the Blue Jays, I think, have taken attitude. They have nothing to lose. No one expected for them to be this far. So we'll see what happens, you
Going
know?
from last place to the World Series. This is like a documentary movie live in action that we're
Night,
watching.
well, it's Night Sports Productions. Night Sports Productions is in
Yo,
full
I
house.
love it.
Other than Blue Jays, what's been going on this week?
What has been going on? So our anniversary was last Saturday. I think I talked
Oh,
about that on
yeah.
Monday. But yeah, just making sure we're getting our projects done. We're now planning for the symposium that is in March.
Wow.
So looking forward to having you as a facilitator again. We're gonna
Looking
start
forward to it.
reaching out.
Excited, and I'm looking forward to if while you bringing Dr. George again, is that your thought process?
So speaking of Dr. George Fraser, we're heading out to Atlanta next week because the Power Networking Conference is
You're
happening.
going?
So I remember I got my ticket last year, but wasn't able to go. So he allowed me to transfer it to this year. So I had to figure it out and get out there. So
What?
yeah, I'll be out there to see. You know who I actually want to meet? So I'm not sure if you're following a gentleman, John Hope Bryant.
I know, I follow him very
Operation Hope.
much.
Yes. So he's
Very
one of
much
the
so.
speakers. So I'm trying to figure out how to get at least 5 minutes with him because his team, I reached out to their team and I was like, they have no interest in expanding to Canada. I was like, I wonder if I can change his mind a little bit because he works closely with Shopify and Shopify is in Canada. So I feel like Operation Hope should have some presence in Canada.
So you're going to it.
Yes, yes. It's plane tickets are booked, the hotel's booked, rental cars ready. No excuses. Unless the only person that can stop me is Trump right now. Something at the border might
Ooh,
block. Actually, it's probably more of a coming back. I don't know, but I feel
wow.
like we'll get it
Well,
done.
I don't know because if they looked at some of the social media content on the page, especially with Aisha and Lala,
Right, right, right.
so I don't
Yeah, that's
know.
why I make sure not to call into that show before I leave. It's like,
Okay, all right.
yeah,
So
because yo, it's no joke. They'll check your phone
oh, I
and
know,
they'll
no,
check
they
to
have the
see.
right. Frequency
Yeah,
revolution says believe in the bird. Also says good day. Yeah, good stuff. So when's the conference?
the 5th to the 8th. So I think next week, Wednesday to the Saturday.
So you're not with us then next Friday.
I'll see if I can find a
Oh
note.
yeah, if you could, that'd be fantastic. Have
Yeah,
you
yeah,
come
yeah.
to Atlanta
As long as
and
we
that's
have some
Wayne
connection.
Harris will be on.
Okay.
That'd
Yeah,
be
man.
apropos. So good. No, congrats. That's not a cheap excursion. So
Yeah, well, so it was between going to game 6 or still going on the trip. No, I'm joking. The trip was booked. But I don't know if you're seeing the prices
oh,
of the game 6, game
no
7.
comment.
It's madness.
No comment.
It
So
is
because
madness.
event promotions goes, did you say John Hope Bryant? Yes, he did.
Yes, yes. So he's a speaker at the Power Networking Conference that
Oh, by the way, is Dr. Boyce speaking at it?
I did see him in the lineup. So yeah, I have to check what day
Well, if
he's
you meet
speaking.
Dr. Boyce, say hello, tell him Dr. Vibe, him for some reason he mentions me periodically on his live streams,
Gotcha.
but that
Mm.
so are you traveling solo with a group or what?
Not solo. I put out the call to see who else from the ACBN network was going, but nobody's reached back, so I'll check again. But yeah, I'm just heading down solo.
Wow.
I'm curious how many Canadians will be at it. I wonder.
Well, you know what?
Hmm.
It's though so Dr. Boyce is doing his thing next year in Brooklyn, but Brooklyn is more expensive than Atlanta, where he had it last year.
Wow,
He said
damn.
he said it's Brooklyn is ridiculously expensive. But
Whoa. I
that's
wouldn't expect that.
well, New York, man, New York. But
Yeah, true.
Ryan is making moves, baby.
And
he's
so
with the
the
big
call
dog.
out is to anybody that knows somebody in Atlanta that would be a good person for me to talk to. Would love to meet with them.
Let's chat offline about that. There may be one or two people I can say
Hmm.
that. Frequency for Red Promotion says, that's a good dude, Mr. Brian. That is just in case Dr. Vibe checks me for clarity. Yes, he is a good guy. He is a very good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a good event for you, sir. That is going to be a good event for you to go to. Well,
I'm looking
if
forward
you
to it.
ever if George ever comes further close to the border, I may risk going down to it, but that's
Gotcha.
cool.
Okay.
Okay,
And how about
frequency
yourself?
of
How's the
everyone's good.
past?
What's happening in Atlanta? Ryan is going to the Power Networking Conference, Mr. Networker. Uh, that's being held by Dr. George Fraser next week. So
Yes.
now that's the thing. You're Mr. Network. Why aren't you going? He actually had an offer to people who attended the last
Exactly.
ACBN symposium.
There
Hello?
was at least one other lady that said she might be going. I have to check to see if because she said that she was getting her ticket. So I'm curious if she actually is going to make it out. I have to check my records who that was.
Okay. Anything else before we go to a quick break?
No, I was asking how was your past week? Anything interesting
Had
you're
a
working on?
time doesn't permit, but had a lot of great wins. Attended a great
Nice.
event and got a whole pile of information about AI. I'm actually meeting with a gentleman who runs a company that he's going to educate me on using AI agents for
Nice.
for my stuff, and yeah, some really exciting stuff in regards with using AI agents. So I'll be able to share with people, say, hey, if someone wants to contact you or find out information, you can send them and you can have your own virtual AI customer service agent handle the responses. And if there are escalations or things like that. So looking forward to doing that. I started doing a little bit of it last night and also maybe starting another new show, but
Hey, solid. Okay.
in regards to finance and corporate but that's we'll see what happens with that. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, freaking about did someone say network? Oh, you're hilarious. Uh
Yes.
and then he says, good question, Dr. Vibe. It's funny that you would say that. I've been attending quote plentiful networking events in the city. Okay. Well,
Nice.
Ryan's
Any of
got
them that stand
he's
out?
to Atlanta where, where the ballers like John
Right.
O'Brien and Dr. Joyce Fraser and Boyce Watkins. All right, we have
Yes.
taken too much time. No, we haven't. We always have enough time. All right, so we're going to come back from a break. We're going to come back. When we come back from our break, we'll do some
Hmm.
housekeeping. Then we have Alison Copeland talking about a very important women's health subject. But if it's a women's health subject, it's important to all of us.
Hmm.
So we will be back in 15 seconds. Here we go.
Watch Primetime Saturdays on Saturdays, 5 p.m. Eastern, where Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lalaki try to make sense of the nonsense in American politics and culture.
All right. So why are you laughing, Dr. Knight?
You're supposed to say, let's go, Blue Jays, let's go. At the end, I requested it. I'm just joking.
Oh, so look who's in the house. Fitness IQ Cam says, Mon and Mon. And also, Frequency Event Promotion says, is that AI program called Growth Ninja or Ninja Growth? Contact me offline. I'm not going to tell you. I actually use 2 pieces of software for that, but what should I just tell them, Ryan?
Yeah, we gotta see
Okay,
more
so
of
what
these
I
creators.
used to create the video was Sora 2.
Ah, nice. I haven't started testing that one because that's made by OpenAI, right? That's
OpenAI.
right.
I
Oh, okay.
use Sora 2. Now, and the nice thing with Sora 2 is you give it a text prompt and you be detailed and gives you that. So
Mm,
what I basically did is said, have a black man in a podcast studio say, check out Primetime Saturday,
right.
5 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays, where Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala Key try to make
Mm.
sense out of the nonsense of American politics and culture. And it created that in 2 minutes.
That's amazing.
Right? So the only thing with Sora, it's watermarked. So it's up to you if you want to keep the watermarks in or take them out. I have found a software that is free that can take out the watermarks.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, because I was gonna say I didn't see any watermark.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's do some housekeeping. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. What's going to happen by Monday? Are we going to hit 2,000 subscribers? Actually, I do. I said, what am I going to do? But I'm going to maybe do 1 or 2 giveaways when I hit 2,000. So
Okay. Hey, so Monday show might be exciting.
Yes, and then join the Discord group of the Morning Vibe. Email me at vibe at the vibeshow.com, or click on the link that's in the Discord to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of. Email me. And then can't forget Indie Soup TV, run by our good friend Dr. Tashe out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Independent Content Creators Network, about 25 independent content creators, and in 20 months, they have hit 28,000 YouTube subscribers. And also, you see a lot of this content on her platform too. And can't forget also, if you have a question during our live conversations, go to callme.road.com, use the code FSPL8L, then you get to another screen, put in your name, and have join conversation, which is a thing I got to do in the near future. I've got to record a video and show that, because I can only do so much, but we're going to do a video. All right. So we are back to what we're doing here. So we're on the Morning Vibe before Ryan takes off to Hotlanta. And we have got a new friend. Well, she's been with us before, but it hasn't been a while. But Alison Copeland has written a really great article called The Menopause Gap, Why Black Women Suffer More and Get Less Care. And it's on the wonderful platform buyblacks.com, Black Canada's #1 online magazine. And before we bring her up, a few more people saying, oh, so Frequency says, no, I was talking about the AI program that has AI sales agent for clarity. No, that's another one. That is another one. And he says, gotta run, but have a good show. Have a great weekend. Be well, everyone. And remember this: network. Of course, he's going to say network. All right. So why don't we bring up Alison Copeland so she can join us and tell us all the wonderful things that she's been up to, and more importantly, about this wonderful article. So Alison Copeland is in the house. What is up? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Happy Halloween.
Yes.
And go Blue Jays.
Yes. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
It's go time.
We'll
Good to see you,
see. Well,
Alison.
it will either be a trick or a treat for Toronto Blue Jays fans today.
So true.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, Alison, what has been going on in your world?
Yeah, I've just been keeping super busy, mindful that, another season is upon us. Christmas is just around the corner.
Oh my.
Just trying to get, all my ducks in a row, just trying to get everything in a good place. But yeah, everything's great.
Good.
Love that.
What is one thing you want to accomplish before the end of the year?
Oh, that's a good question. I think definitely one thing that I want to accomplish before the end of the year is getting a really good grasp on AI. I want to attend as many conversations. I want to get to use as many platforms as I can. I really want to try and challenge myself to use not just the chat GPTs and the Geminis and the co-pilots, but to really sort of like branch out, maybe video recording, voice recording, just looking at all the various different ways that you can use AI.
Okay. All right. Well, you have graced us via Buy Blacks with another wonderful piece of content. And this is the menopause gap, why Black women suffer more and get less care. What was your reason for writing this article at this time?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm really glad that we're having this conversation. It's definitely long overdue, and totally appreciate this platform, the Dr. Vibe Show, to talk about an issue that affects so many women, and it often goes to unspoken. I mean, it affects half the population is going to go through this at some point in their lives, and it's such a taboo subject. So when this came through my desk, October being the month that we make awareness on menopause, I thought this was a really great story to highlight and have a conversation about.
Mm.
Gotcha. And we're hearing more about, I'm not sure if it's menopause starting earlier or is it the perimenopause that leads up to it, and that not being really identified by doctors when women are going in. Can you walk us through what women are like not being heard about, like when they're talking to the doctors about their symptoms?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So, before you have menopause, you go through a transitional period called perimenopause, which is the time before you have menopause, which is seen as when you go for 12 months without a period. That is the medical name that's given for menopause. But leading up to that time, women's hormones, they go out of whack. You'll get hot flashes, you'll have headaches. Sex might be unbearable for some. You'll feel fatigue. That's another common symptom. Brain fog. Sometimes you want to find the word and you can't find the word. And you're like, oh my God, have I got dementia? Like, no, that is actually, it could be a symptom of menopause or perimenopause. So because your hormones are out of flux. And so oftentimes when you're going through that, especially Black women who can go through this a lot earlier, anywhere from sort of like late 30s to early 40s, you could be going through this. I don't know of any Black women going through this in their 20s, but there probably certainly are cases. But there is a study out there that shows that Black women do suffer more and get less care and will have menopausal symptoms a lot earlier than everyone else.
Whoa.
Okay, so in the house, we mentioned buyblacks.com. Look who's here. Roger Dundas, him and Camille Power, buyblacks.com. And Fitness IQ Camp says, hello, Allison, educate these men, LOL.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Roger. Five
All
Blacks
right. All
family.
right.
Yeah.
Let me ask, how do you define the menopause gap?
So the gap essentially is that area of information that for whatever reason is not talked about, or we're excluded from that conversation. Sometimes when you go to your doctor, let's just say you don't realize you're going through perimenopause, but you're having, let's just say, some gynecological issues, like so down below. I've heard stories where women will go and speak to their doctor about it. And rather than the doctor sort of like asking different types of questions to assess, well, this could be a menopausal symptom, immediately they'll go to, how many partners have you slept with this month? Or
Whoa.
they'll try and make it an STD issue and
Right.
then put you through a completely different conversation. You know what I mean? And that could be driven by stereotypes. Obviously you're Black, you're a woman, so you're bound to be promiscuous. If you're having a urinary tract infection or there's something happening down below that's related to menopause, that's not always going to be top of mind. They're always going to go to somewhere else. So that's the gap, that kind of like not getting that due care that maybe our white female counterparts would get. They're going in with an issue. And then the first thing is, well, they're looking at their age group. And then they're asking questions like, well, when was your last period? And have you noticed any spotting? Or I don't want to go into too much detail, but essentially when you are going through perimenopause, those monthly periods become erratic. So they're not every month. You can go for like a whole 6 months with no period, and then you'll get one. And then when it comes, it's like a tsunami wave. It's just so heavy, and it will just knock you out for days. So there's all different types of symptoms. You know, the hot flushes being the most common one. You'll just be like just dripping in buckets of sweat.
Whoa.
You don't even have to have done anything physical. You could just be sitting down watching the TV or, you know, at work. And then all of a sudden you'll get a hot flush and then just sweating profusely, your mascara's running down and people are looking at you like, what's wrong?
Absolutely, yeah. And I noticed my wife, she started to wear like the neck fans more because it can happen at any time where you're just feeling hot. And like you said, you're not really doing anything, but it's happening. But I'm curious, you're saying like the doctors are now asking questions about things that aren't relevant. And you would think like with their training, you would start with, okay, if you're in a certain age group, these questions should be mandatory. Do you feel it's a lack of training? Like, why are doctors having this gap in knowledge of how to work with the women?
Well, in my conversations with Dr. Candice Todd, who is a doctor but specializes in neurological science, but she is also part of the menopause movement that's starting to happen here. She mentioned that, sorry, can you just remind me of the question again?
Like, where's the education gap with our doctors? Like, why
Okay, yeah.
aren't like how is there a gap with these people that should be so educated?
So this is the thing. So what Dr. Candice Todd alluded to is that the area, the specialization in menopause in general wasn't taken very seriously. So through medical school, you'll learn everything else. You'll do all the,
Mm,
I don't know what doctors learn, but they have a curriculum and it can be weeks and weeks, months and months and years on this curriculum. And then menopause is just like a 2 hour conversation or a 2 hour, like,
gotcha. Like a side thing.
right. And
Yeah.
then it's never spoken about again. And, you know, and there hasn't been a whole lot of research on the subject either. There was many years ago, I think in the early 2000s, when they were making, there was a report or a study that made the link between menopause and breast cancer. So the hormone replacement treatment therapy that they would often issue out to women who are going through menopause, it was like a hormonal treatment that would slow down the hot flushes and the discomfort and all of that. But then the side effect of that, they were saying, was people who go on this drug treatment can end up getting breast cancer. So it just
Man,
created
the
this,
trade-off, man, is brutal.
right? And then everything went quiet after that. But then since then, they have debunked that myth, but the
Oh,
education in menopause has just been very patchy. But Women's College Hospital are now trying to address that, and they're trying to debunk the myths about hormone replacement therapy giving you breast cancer, which it doesn't. That's now being proved that it doesn't.
gotcha.
And just trying to educate people and GPs who very often don't have menopausal knowledge because they're concentrating on all the other areas with regards to our medical health.
Gotcha.
Okay. I have a conversation piece here. Whether it's yourself or you've had conversations with Black women in regards to this, have they felt dismissed
Yeah,
about their midlife systems, and have any of them been able to feel accepted, not dismissed, when it comes to these midlife symptoms?
I think there is a bit of that, being feeling dismissed, ignored, not being taken seriously. And I think because it is such a taboo subject, people don't want to really talk about it. Or if they do, you become the butt of the joke. If you're having a hot flush, it's, oh, I'm having a senior moment, or
Mhm.
it becomes parodied, and you see it in comedy and media. Like, the woman that's her raging hormones making her out of control. She's aggressive, or, there are, I think, feeling dismissed is because there isn't enough information about it, and it's not given the coverage that it should get. I mean, there are books out there now that can educate everybody about menopause, because I think it's equally important for men to understand what women are going through as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And not just brush it under the carpet and, oh, it's that time of the month. And it's just because, no shade, but sometimes men do confuse premenstrual tension and menopause, and it's just a whole big soupy area. They don't understand it, so then it's easier to dismiss, to just be like, oh, it's just a monthly situation, when it's
Right.
so much more.
So Fitness IQ Camp says Laud, late 30s, and she says she'll take hot flashes over cramps.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, I'm getting personal now, but I used to suffer really bad period cramps, like in my early 20s. It was just
20s?
And that was because at the time I had fibroids and I didn't realize I had fibroids, which is another whole issue
Okay.
that affects mostly Black women. I think white women can suffer from fibroids as well, but mostly, for whatever reason, it's Black women that are getting fibroids, or just women of color in general. And those cramps are a killer.
So I
Gotcha.
don't know. Again, you're not a medical expert. You're a reporter, content creator, but I have this conversation piece. Which symptoms are most commonly overlooked or misattributed in Black women? Is it the heavy bleeding, the fibroids, the hot flashes, mood changes, sleep issues, cardiovascular changes?
All of the above, I would
Okay.
say. The one that many women may not realize is attributed to menopause is the memory slips, the focus fades, the brain
Mm,
fog. That is huge, because you do feel like sometimes you'll walk into a kitchen to get something and you're like, you completely forgot what you went in the kitchen to get.
Right.
Any room in the house, not just the kitchen. But you know what I mean? It's just like, just take a step back. And then you think, oh my gosh, sometimes you'll attribute it to old age. Oh my God, I'm getting old.
Right. Right.
And it's not. It's actually, it's the perimenopause, but no one's told you about it.
Well,
wow.
and are you finding, since women are having trouble having these conversations with their doctor, where else are they able to go? Like, where can they get the proper information? Or are there doctors now that focus on it more, that they can find? Like, what would be their options?
This is the thing. I mean, if you think you're going through perimenopause and some of the symptoms that we've discussed, you're having those, definitely go and talk to your doctor. If the doctor's not proactive enough and wanting to assess you to see what that is, speak to your doctor and then ask them to refer you, to find a place where they can refer you to a doctor that specializes in sort of the menopause, in the gynecological clinics that just specifically look at that. And Women's College Health is now in the process of setting something up like that, where you can just go in and just talk about all things menopause. Talk to your parents, or your sisters, or any woman who's older than you who's gone through it. I mean, we don't talk about it a lot, and if we do, it's in jest or it's a joke. But it's the information is out there, and other people are sort of like getting on board now and realizing the seriousness of it. Like when you look at the culture as a whole, you've got people like Hailey Berry. She's become an advocate now for menopause, and she's talking about it. And then here, closer to home in Canada, Julie Black, she was part of the Hot and Bothered campaign last year, which
Yeah.
again, it's all about awareness of perimenopause, which is the transitional time before you hit menopause, and just understanding all the different things that your body is going to be going through and the resources that are out there to help you.
All right. We're going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Alison.
Check out The Morning Vibe on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Eastern with Dr. Vibe and Ryan Knight, where they discuss important subjects between themselves or have conversations with people who you need to know about.
Oh, and then he says, "Let's go Blue Jays." It was so close. That ad was amazing.
Oh my goodness. So we are back. I had to do that for Ryan, or Ryan would cut us off the air. So I had to do our Blue Jays promo. So we're back with Alison Copeland talking about her article at byblacks.com, The Menopause Gap, Why Black Women Suffer More and Get Less Care. If you want to check out the article, there is the link that you can check it out, and I will put that information in the comment sections on most of the platforms that you're watching this live or on the replay. So let me ask also, how does bias in pain assessment and symptom dismissal show up in menopause care specifically? Because when you were talking there about getting information, I also think about having also a culturally sensitive doctor.
Mm.
Did that come up in any of your research?
Actually, that's a good point. It has, not for this particular article, but for a medical article that I was looking at many, many months ago. And it was all about, it was to do with gynecological healthcare, Black women who are having issues with childbirth. And it talked about how there is this prevalent stereotype within the medical industry where they believe that Black people experience pain differently from white people.
Oh, okay.
The gist is that we don't feel pain.
Oh,
Whoa.
Yeah. So sometimes you may have experiences where you're feeling dismissed, or the doctor might be like, "Oh, don't worry, just tough it out." That's factual. Like it's anecdotal, but it has been happening to lots
Talk
of.
about labor? Like this is madness. What are you talking about? Gonna walk off those contractions.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe not so much in childbirth, but there is that stigma that we feel it deep. So they may not want to give you the epidural right away, or they may hold back on prescribing painkillers, or because they feel that no, this is okay, like it's just a little discomfort, you can handle it. And that's just right across the board. There is some research, not so much in Canada, but in the US. There is a study out there that shows how prevalent that stereotype is, and it still persists today.
it's crazy. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
really, really. Ryan, do you want to continue? I've got lots of conversational pieces, but I know you may have something going on.
No, I was just curious if that study talked about sickle cell as well, because I know being able to go in and say that you're in crisis but not getting believed, and because you're going through so much pain, they don't treat it right away. Curious your thoughts on that coming up as well, like with women going into medical facilities and not being believed of the pain that they're in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about sickle cell specifically, but I would imagine, yeah, I mean, right across the board. And it's just to say, it just depends on the physician that is attending to you that day. It just really depends. But which is why I now try to, as much as I can, try to lead a healthy lifestyle, and try to. This is not for everyone. I try to avoid situations where I have to go to the doctor and rely on their expertise, because sometimes I feel that I'm not getting what I need.
Right.
I would love to see just more Black doctors, because that's where I would feel like, you have my best interest at heart, and I'm not just another number, or just prescribe some generic pill and just get out of my office. Like sometimes you do feel that as a Black person, you're not getting the same type of care that perhaps a white person would get.
Gotcha.
Good stuff. So people, if you want to get in touch with Alison, her contact information is her LinkedIn address. There's also her on X And again, that contact information is in the comment sections on most of the platforms you're watching this live on replay. And we cannot leave buyblacks.com. You need to go there. Buyblacks.com, their website, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all day, all day. It's all day. So let me continue on with some conversation pieces here. What about, if someone has or suspects perimenopause but can't access a specialist, what practical steps can they take?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, well, first of all, I think if anyone's listening and thinking, where do I even start? I would recommend, there's a really good book called How to Menopause by Tamsin Fadal.
Okay.
She's a journalist who's gone through this herself, and she does a really good job breaking down what those symptoms are. I think there's about 34 symptoms,
Wow.
the treatment options that are available to you, and how to actually advocate for yourself with your doctor. So I think that's the thing you need to do is, like, if you feel that you are going through menopause, have that conversation with your doctor first, self-advocate. And if you feel like you're not getting the type of information that you want, there's another resource that you can tap into. I think it's called the Menopause Foundation of Canada. Go on their website. I'm not sure if they list specialists in that field, but that's a great place to start. Your doctor, the foundation, the Menopause Foundation of Canada website. I would definitely go there.
Got it. Good stuff.
Whoa.
In your opinion, who should own menopause care? Should it be primary care, OBGYNs, dedicated menopause specialists, nurse practitioners? What models work?
Ooh, honestly. um, I guess my first instinct is to say the OBGYNs because you're losing estrogen, right? And it's that reproductive health. It's like a time bomb is clicking, and it's just literally exploding. It's making the body react in various different ways. So I would definitely say the OBGYNs. But then outside of that, I think anyone that's dealing with female health, because half the population are females,
Yeah.
so
Right.
rave on and on about prostate cancer and other types of issues that men are going through, and women too. But for some reason, when it comes to menopause, it's just like, just sweep it under the carpet. No, we need to be a bit more vocal about it. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was curious, what type of advice would you give to the men that have women in our lives that might be going through perimenopause and eventually menopause, so that we don't get beat up and be be insensitive, so that we can actually be there and empathetic for our women and our wives and our partners?
Well, knowledge is power, so I'm definitely going to recommend that book again, How to Menopause by Tamsin Fadal.
But for the men to read it too.
Men should read it too, because it breaks everything down, and it's a very approachable, evidence-based book. Because there are some of the symptoms could be like vaginal dryness. It makes it very difficult for penetrative sex, and it's just a big no-no. As a man, you might be feeling, oh, what is it? Something I've done? You're not attracted to me anymore, and that might not be entirely the case. It could be because your partner is going through perimenopause. They might not even know that they're going through perimenopause because they don't identify that as being a symptom. They might, but it is like your libido dropping is it's a big thing, and that's why one of the treatment options out there today is the hormonal replacement therapy, where it's basically just blasting you with, I think, estrogen, and just trying to get that balance right to keep your libido back where it should be or wants to be. But yeah, definitely read the book, and know to yourself that if your wife is just not wanting to have sex with you, it doesn't necessarily mean she's not attracted to you. It could be because she's perimenopausal.
Okay.
Okay. I think
So
that's the thing Halle Berry went viral about because she was talking about the sex drive or the dry front. And of course, it's comedic, the responses, but she was actually being very vulnerable and open about what she was going through, I guess, with her menopause journey.
Yeah. I mean, the more we hear about these stories and the more we talk about it, the less it becomes taboo. And then it becomes almost like second nature, where you get to understand what's happening to your partner without sort of like thinking it's something that you as a man have done. So I think the more we talk about it, the better.
all
Absolutely.
right, some comments here from Fitness IQ. Cam says, "No shade, but shades," and Ray says, "Seems as though the same issues that impact Black men in healthcare impact Black women too. Find healthcare providers we can actually communicate with."
Mhm.
And then also, I think we've got Fitness IQ. Cam says, "LOL, we don't have the energy to beat you up at the time."
Yes, it'll be saved for later. That's the problem. Like, we're doing something wrong, and then later we're like getting in trouble. It's like, what did we do? It was like it was before. You weren't paying attention.
Um, Allison, in researching this story, have you found out, and I think you've mentioned some of them, but listing some of the barriers to quality menopause care that you have either personally or other women or medical profession have shared with you?
Yeah, I think the biggest barrier is just that feeling of just again not being taken seriously. It's almost like, well, it's menopause. What do you expect? Here are some treatment options. Read about it, go away, and that's that. Um, you know, when you're a young child, you're going through school. Part of the curriculum, you have sex education. You learn about puberty. You learn about child rearing and all of that good stuff, and then it stops there. Like maybe you need to introduce menopause as the second stage of puberty for women, if you like. We because the education seems to stop there, and it doesn't, and no one seems to wants to talk about it anymore. But every woman is going to go through menopause, so why not have that discussion early rather than being surprised by it when you hit your 40s and you're like, holy crap, what do I do?
Gotcha. But do
Got
you feel it would scare off our daughters? Like they're in school, grade 7, 8, learning about just the initial changes, and then they're gonna learn about like the end, or I guess the end of the cycle where menopause is happening. I don't know. It would feel like, yo, what is like? Why is like so many bad things gonna happen to me just because I can give birth? Do you feel like they're protecting them in some way by not telling them like that far in the future what's gonna happen?
Well, I mean, going through menopause is not a bad thing. It's
Mhm.
sure the some of the symptoms aren't great, but it's just part of that transition of life. Yes, you're going to get old, you're going to lose your hair,
Yeah,
you're gonna wrinkle, your bone density is not going to be great.
right.
Women who go through menopause and don't have like a plan of how to approach that, like going to the gym, having good cardiovascular, uh, doing strengths, weight training, things like that to help your bone mass. Because what happens is when you're losing all that estrogen, it and forgive me if I'm messing this all up because again I'm not a medical expert here, but I know that it does have an impact on your bone density.
Yeah.
Can cause osteoporosis. So we don't want that, right? So why not get that education, get that information out there early? It's not having that information shouldn't be something that will scare you. Yes, you're going to age, your body's going to change. You're going to hit puberty at such and such an age. Such and such an age is a good time to have children from this age to that age, and from this age to that age you might hit menopause. Well, not might, you will hit
Mhm.
menopause, and this is how you can navigate that journey.
You had mentioned some of the factors like historical medical mistrust, education gaps. What about other factors like immigration status, income, caregiving load, disability? How does that impact the whole area of menopause care, in your opinion?
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
That's, you know what, I'm starting to realize as well. It's almost a bit of a like a postcode lottery, isn't it? Depending on where you live. Like if you live in a good neighborhood and
Mhm.
then you're probably going to get a good doctor. You'll probably find a clinic that's close to where you live that's going to give you great healthcare. And then if you're living in a neighborhood where it's not particularly great, you might find the level of care and treatment in that area is not going to be great. So, personally, like if you're an immigrant and you're trying to navigate, or you're finding that some of the healthcare practitioners that you've seen in the past haven't been very helpful, I would just try and find like a walk-in health clinic, probably
Yes.
somewhere downtown that's got a good reputation, because they will see you, um, and try and start from there. That would be my suggestion, because I mean this province has a healthcare problem, an issue. Like it's very hard to get a doctor. There's
This
so many
is,
people
yeah.
with family
Yeah.
doctor, and you have to literally just go to a walk-in clinic. So if you are going to go to one, I would just opt for going to one downtown, somewhere near the financial district, somewhere in those plushy neighborhoods. You might get the care that you're looking for, like good healthcare.
If I have your permission to drop it, it's very interesting you say that, because it just, people who are watching this live on the replay, first of all, ask yourself if you have a doctor, because I know
Mhm.
a lot of people that don't.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, if you don't have a doctor, don't think it's going to be easy to get one.
Hmm.
But I would say do the pursuing to get a doctor. Like I'm blessed, I've had the same doctor for at least 20, 25 years. And a few weeks ago, I wanted to see him about something, couldn't get him to see. So I went into a walking clinic that is 10 minutes drive from where I live. And the gentleman was amazing, almost to the point where I said, you know what? If my doctor ever stops practicing, I want to use this guy. So I'm going to actually go back and see him and say, hey, are you taking patients other than just walk in? Was, really liked the way he treated me, et cetera, and all that. And I said, wow, that's good. But, whether you're black male, black female, whatever your gender is, have a doctor,
Mm.
Definitely.
right?
That's
Have a
good.
doctor, because, hey, if an emergency comes up and you got to go to emergency, they're going to ask, oh, do you have a doctor? If you don't have a doctor, they have no medical history on you,
Oof. True.
and they're starting from scratch. So you want to try and eradicate that issue as much. And I agree with Alison, especially in the province that we live on, it's not easy to get a doctor. But if you don't start trying to get it now, it's going to be more challenging down the road.
Mm.
Alison, let me ask, what surprised you most in the research for this story? Whether it's data or lived experiences, or even having that conversation with that doctor.
I think the thing that surprised me the most, and it shouldn't have because it's come up before, is that there is like zero research in Canada when it comes to race and medical healthcare, and how Black people are impacted. There's tons of studies in the US. And yes, Canada is close to the US, and in a lot of ways, we're very similar to the US. But to me, it's crazy that the data here is non existent. Um, so
Wow.
there's a study in America called the SWAN study, which is the study where I was able to get this article up and running, because it's very factual. The data's clear that Black women in the US hit menopause earlier, they have tougher symptoms, and they face bigger health impacts. All right. When you look at the Canadian equivalent, where is that research? There isn't any, hasn't been done.
Wow. We should
And
send a note to the Black Healthcare Professionals Network. Maybe they can get some grant funding to start this research. Like who taboo they're in this space.
yeah,
Are they getting funding to do research?
there's also the Black Physicians Association of Ontario.
Right.
We need data.
Always. Healthcare
These days,
decisions.
data is so important these days in decision making. We need to have that. That is really, really That's concern. Well, it's a common thing we're hearing across the board, the lack of data.
Yeah.
Mm,
Let me ask for you, what would be a menopause ready community look like?
Ooh.
absolutely.
I think a menopause ready community looks like a community that understands. They understand the issues. It's not a taboo subject. We don't sit in silence. We don't suffer in silence. Um, and we celebrate that it's another part of womanhood, that it's a journey, part of your never-ending journey. It's the second phase in your life. It doesn't mean your life is over just because you hit menopause. It just means that you have to take better care of yourself, because osteoporosis is no joke. And one of the ways that you can sort of like prevent that from deteriorating your health is getting in the gym,
Exercise.
exercise, movement, you know. Yes, your metabolism will be affected. Women going through menopause tend to gain more weight. I'm not sure the explanations behind that, but again, it's to do with the hormonal balance just being out of whack. So there are things you can do to make that journey less, what's the word I'm looking for? Less stressful, I guess. It's a journey, but if the whole community is behind you, then the journey it helps to lighten the load on the journey. So yeah, I hope I've answered that adequately.
No, it's okay. It's
Absolutely. And I
okay.
love the community understanding more so that we can support those and uplift them instead of, like you said, it becoming kind of a side conversation or a comical. We know that it's serious what they're going through and we can support the best way that we can.
So Fitness IQ Cam says, but if we can truly be ready for it, especially because not all ladies experience the same thing.
Hmm.
Well, they're going to experience something. It could be getting like lots of migraines. That's another symptom. Like there's over 34 symptoms, right, of menopause. The vaginal dryness, the not wanting to have sex, the not wanting to have sex, itchy, dry skin. Sometimes you'll just have like, which again I've learned through the research is almost like a condition like eczema. Your skin just gets dry, it gets itchy. You don't even want to put anything on your body. Like there's so many different types of symptoms out there.
Gotcha.
Let me
Um,
ask, are there voices or quotes from women you interviewed that stayed with you at all?
I guess not really, but I would say that I guess yeah, one thing that has stuck in my mind mostly is we need to talk about it more. Not
Hmm.
just laugh about it. Like you see something funny, like or just take it a bit more seriously and have more conversations, more open conversations.
And
Yeah.
then what was the most hopeful moment in your reporting?
The fact that Women's College Hospital, hopefully by next year, they will be having a clinic or a practice that is just dedicated to menopause and perimenopause. So it will become
Nice.
a hub where you can go and get more information and you can sit down with a menopause specialist and have someone literally just to hold your hand on that journey and just be like, just welcome you to embrace this change that is part of womanhood.
And also, how can listeners push their healthcare systems, employers, and elected officials to prioritize midlife women's health?
Mm, great question. Um, you know, write to your MPs, speak about it, be about it. Let's keep the conversation going.
Love that. And as you guys keep the conversation going, my apologies. I do
Yes,
have to hop, but
yes.
always good seeing you, Alison.
We will see you Monday, and maybe you'll be carrying the World Series trophy.
Hey, if they let me, I will
All
figure out a way to grab it. I'll
All
bring it
right.
in.
Take care, Ryan. Be well.
Bye,
Thanks.
Ryan.
All right. And I know we have a few quick more moments with Allison on the story, but also Fitness IQ Camp says, migraines too.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just so many. There's so many. I mean, and they keep finding new symptoms every day. So again, with the research, with the data, like all those things, I think the more we know, the better we can understand and the better we can navigate it.
What made ri- writing this story different from any of the others that you've done?
I think because I'm of that age where I can be going through it myself, menopause, it just opened up my eyes. When I think about like my grandmother and my mom and my aunts who've all gone through this, we've never really had a conversation about it. Like, oh, when you get to such and such an age, prepare for this. It's never been talked about, and I'm wondering if that goes right across all types of families, not just Black families. I'm just curious to know. So I think doing the research, learning a bit more about the subject, it just really made me see my mom and my grandmother, God rest her soul, just thinking about what they went through, and they didn't have the resources or the help or the books or the radio chats about this topic. They didn't have, they just went through it without that knowledge, without that education. And I'm just hoping that for the next generation, it won't be that way.
Ray has a question, because while most women will experience menopause, are there cases where, women may not experience any of the symptoms mentioned?
I think that's very possible. But again, I'm not being a medical expert. I wouldn't want to say
Right.
really, but I think that could be very possible.
True. If you had one word to describe menopause or perimenopause in our community, what would it be and why?
You know what came to my mind? I don't know if you know that song, Where Them Fans At? Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Uh, sorry, what was the question again?
No problem. So if you had one word to
Hmm.
describe menopause or perimenopause in the Black environment,
Yeah,
what would it be and why?
one word. I think the word would be transformation, because your body is going through a huge change and
Mhm.
you're transforming for the second act in your life, let's just say.
Okay. Okay. And for those who have gone through it, for yourself or others, what is one thing you wish a doctor had said or done sooner?
I think, like when you hit your, for women anyway, I think when you hit your 40s, like the government will send you an invitation to go and get your mammogram, so that it happens every 2 years or every
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I think something like that. You hit a certain age and then the government sends a woman information like, welcome to your 50s or whatever the age group is, or that decade that you're stepping into. Here are the things that you might go through, and here's
Right.
how maybe it's a change in your diet, in your lifestyle, things that you need to consider to help you as your body goes through this change. And knowing that, in fact, maybe having an invite to get a bone density scan to see what your bone health looks like at a certain age as a woman, because as the estrogen is coming out of your body, it's actually impacting your bones. And that's a big deal. And if you could do something about that and prepare rather than be sorry and then have to fix and remedy, like do the preparation. Preparation and prevention is better than the cure sometimes.
So what's one symptom or change that surprised you the most in your 30s or 40s? Mind, body, or mood?
Ooh. I think the mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the mind.
Okay. And if you had to choose which support helps most right now, a culturally aware doctor, a peer support group, or better insurance coverage?
And I have to choose one.
You
um,
can choose as many as you want. That's all right.
I would say all of them.
Okay. Okay. Um, so which non-medical strategy works best for you? Walking weights, better sleep routine, changing what you eat, or stress reduction?
I think getting good sleep is a game
Mm,
changer. Like you really do need your 8 hours sleep. It just helps to reset and get yourself primed for the next day.
yeah.
Um, and I also think movement as well. Like you
Yeah.
have to. I know, like when we were going through the COVID, people were, stopped going out and sort of like more homebound and sedentary. And I think that's had a real huge impact on sort of like weight gain and just health in general and mental health as well. So I think definitely movement.
Getting good sleep is so important no matter what age you are. A lot
Absolutely.
of people over it. Oh, I only need a few hours of sleep. It'll catch up with you. It will catch up to you. Also, how do media stereotypes about, quote, strong Black women, unquote, or just push through harm care seeking and self compassion? I know you spoke about it a little bit earlier, but we're specifically talking about Black women. How has this impacted, especially Black women in this area?
In a big way. Again, it goes back to not being believed. Because there is the perception that we experience pain differently, that our pain threshold is higher, so we can, you can operate on us without anesthesia. Hell
Yeah,
no.
whatever.
Right? I don't know why these stereotypes persist. Um, and you do see it, and it's very subtle sometimes. Again, with that push through, just tough it out. Black women are so strong. Tired of being so strong. I'm a woman, and I want to be treated like every other woman, regardless of race, background. Like, yeah.
I know we've probably kept you past your time, so I don't want to upset you in regards to this, but I just want to make sure that people get a chance to see the article again. This is what it looks like. The menopause gap, why Black women suffer more and get less care. If you're in your comment section, I've put the information on where you can get to the link. The link is there on buyblacks.com. So please make sure that you check it out. Alison, do you have any final words for us today?
Just live good and take care of each other.
I love that. What is the upcoming projects that you can share with us that you're working on?
Can't really share, but a
Okay.
lot of just expect that there'll be more Buy Black articles from me.
Yay!
And
That's a good thing.
and you never know, maybe another chance to have a conversation with you on the Dr. Vibe show.
Maybe. You're saying maybe.
Maybe but that's on you though.
No. Well, once you produce the content, it's gonna happen.
Well, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run something really quick and then we're gonna send it off. So Allison, if you can just hold on a moment with us. And what we're gonna do is run something really quick and then we will sign it off. But let me just do a little production work here. Do this, do this. Okay, here we go.
Coming up this Monday on The Morning Vibe, Donovan Ralph Martin Jr. of the Daily Scrum News will be talking about Doug Ford's anti-tariff ad.
Right, so coming up this Monday on The Morning Vibe, Donovan Ralph Martin of the Daily Scrum News will be with his back with us, his monthly first Monday of the month appearance, and he's going to be talking about this Doug Ford ad about showing about pushback on tariffs that caused real big hubbub with the current president of the United States. He's gonna want to chat about that. So as we call it a day, so a few things. Again, I'm just gonna run. This is where you can get a hold of Alison. Right there. Again, it's in your comment section. This is where you can get a hold of Buy Blacks. Thank you very much. If you want to get a hold of Ryan, there he is, RyanOneilKnight.com. That's Knight with a KN, not an N. If you want to find out about me, it's right here. Dr. Vibe Show, you can find out about myself and the show. And I'm also working on an AI chatbot. So be prepared for that. I'm working on that. So always want to do change up of things. You can get replays of the Morning Vibe on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, Afro Caribbean Business Network, and on YouTube, and also Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. And also, too, always want to encourage, if you haven't done it yet, because I know a lot of people watch and they don't subscribe, I'd love you to if you're up to it, because we want to hit the 2K subscriber base. Looking forward to that. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button so you get notified of upcoming conversations, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. So I think we are done. Alison is still hanging around, so I got to thank her for that. So this is what we do. You live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history and be better. We'll see on the next Morning Vibe Show if Ryan's going to be happy or sad. Will he still be wearing his Blue Jay sweatshirt? All right. So for everybody else, have a blessed weekend. If you're watching this live on the replay, God bless, peace well, keep the faith, and walk good. Take care.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.